Hi, this is Tim from fititmidlife.com, and today I've got the brand new Nike Free Metcon 3. This is the third version of Nike shoe that combines the free running line with the Metcon line. We're going to compare it to the React Metcon 2 from last year, but also the Metcon 5, the React Metcon, and the Nano 9, so stick around. Okay, so let's take an up-close look at the new Nike Free Metcon 3. So first of all, what's in the name? This is a combination of the free running line with the Metcon shoe line. The free running line is meant to replicate the feel of barefoot running, so there's a number of features that are related to that. But at the same time, the shoe is true to its Metcon name as well, and there's a number of features that are borrowed from that line of shoes. So we'll start with the sole. You can see this is quite different than the sole that was on last year's shoe. It has these very deep flex grooves. It looks like it's got a foam and then a tougher rubber. So this darker material is like a tough rubber. This is more foam-like, the white material. Of course, the rubber being for durability. The flex grooves give it that forefoot flexibility that you normally have in a free running shoe. So a free shoe, it's like barefoot running. Your bare foot is very flexible. Therefore, the shoe should be very flexible as well. What's interesting is it looks like they've made the rope wrap more prominent on the shoe for this release. So this is not, this is greatly, very different than what was on last year's shoe, which didn't have as much of a rope wrap. So I believe that's why they did that, kind of improve the ability to climb ropes with the shoe. And then in the heel, it's very flat, it's very solid. So that's, of course, a Metcon feature, right? A flat, solid heel for lifting weights and things like that. You'll also notice that the sole of the shoe has a very uneven peaks and valleys on it. And so I'm not quite sure what the reason for that feature is, but that is probably an aspect of the free line as well. Let's look at the upper. So it is a mesh upper. It is a double layer sort of mesh. So there's an inner layer there that I'm pulling away from the outer layer. Feels pretty soft, feels pretty comfortable. It is supplemented in key areas with this sort of, I don't think it's rubber, it's some sort of a wrap. It's definitely tougher than the mesh though. But that's certainly there to help protect the upper. You can see from the side, there's that kind of rope wrap area, right? This is where you would grip a rope during rope climbs. And there is that massive flat Metcon style heel. Let's take a close up of the mesh. It's soft, it's comfortable. It seems pretty good. You'll also see here in the laces, they've got sort of a tubular style of lace. It's a little bit bigger. It's not as flat as the laces on the Metcon 5, which I kind of prefer the Metcon 5 laces, but this is all right. It's not as big as a boot lace, which I really don't like it when they put boot laces on training shoes and running shoes. You can see Flywire is in use here. So these are the Vectran filaments. These run probably through the inside of the shoe. You can't see the interior on this shoe, but these run through the shoe, and as you tighten the laces, it helps tighten up, gives you a better locked-in fit and feel. So that's definitely a Metcon style feature. Forefoot flexibility, you can kind of see with those large flex grooves, it's pretty decent. You can see there's a pretty extensive toe guard that's a little bit off center for some reason, but it's there and it's pretty robust. Pull tab on what would be the tongue. There is no tongue, of course. And pull tab on the heel as well makes these easy to take on and off. These are usually a pretty tight fit, right? They're supposed to have like a kind of feels almost like a slipper, like very comfortable, almost like you're not wearing a shoe, right? Because again, free running line, it's not supposed to feel like you've got some big, heavy, clunky shoe. All right, let's talk fit and sizing. So these run true to size, in my opinion. This is a men's size 11. That is the size I wear. They fit well. The only caveat is these are definitely not as wide in the toe box as the previous model shoe. So the previous model shoe, the React Metcon 2, is the one that I would recommend to most people with wide feet, or the Reebok Nano 9. However, this year, the shoe is definitely narrower. So if you have wide feet, you may have to go a half size up. Otherwise, I think you'll be okay with your regular size. Let's talk weight. These weigh 12.2 ounces for a men's size 11. That is approximately the same as the prior year's shoe. So despite the fact that it's bigger, looks bigger, has more material in the sole, it is about the same weight. Also, like the previous year's shoe, there is not a removable midsole. There is a thin insole that you can take in and out. This really doesn't do much of anything. It's pretty minimal. You can see inside, that is the bare shoe. You will notice, though, that this side piece, this is very rigid, comes up around the sides for a nice, secure, for side-to-side movement is what Nike says. But it's like your foot is cradled way down within this very secure part of the shoe. So that is definitely there's more of this effect, certainly, than last year's shoe. What is the heel-to-toe drop or offset? In other words, how much higher is your heel than your toes in the shoe? I don't know. It has not been published yet. I know last year's shoe was a 6 millimeter heel to toe drop. I would imagine this is similar. Being a free shoe, being a Metcon shoe, it is not going to have a ton of heel to toe drop. We'll have to wait for Nike or another vendor to confirm what that value is. I can't measure that accurately myself. Okay, so let's compare the Nike Free Metcon 3 to last year's shoe, the React Metcon 2. So this is the predecessor of the shoe. It is the 2019 version of combining the Free line with the Metcon line. And there's some interesting features in the shoe. So you can see they have the deep siping in the forefoot for great flexibility. You can see that there. And on the outsole itself, you can see hexagonal foam blocks. Why hexagonal? Because this shoe was made to flex both along the length and the width. And you can see how that works when you've got the foam blocks. The gum or tan colored area, that is a tougher rubber, whereas the rest of this is foam. This has been a fairly durable shoe. I've worn these quite a bit. I like them. Here's the rope wrap. The rope wrap is comparatively small to what's on the new shoe. The old shoe did not have flywire. Instead, it had this flexible but tough TPU kind of grid for the laces. The laces were flat. The fit and the feel of the shoe was very much like what they call a booty type of fit. Like there's this, slip fit shoe with the pull tab, mesh upper. And overall, these are very comfortable shoes. They're also quite wide, so maybe deceiving here. You can't necessarily tell, across this width, but there's actually a lot of room in the toe box in this shoe, and that was one of the great things about the React Metcon 2. So this is the previous year's shoe. This is a men's size 11. It weighs 12.1 ounces. So this is the current shoe, the Free Metcon 3. You can see it's bigger, it's taller. There's more to it. It certainly has a much bigger outsole. It has a flatter heel with much more surface area on the new one. If we look from the top, looks can be deceiving. They look like they're about the same width, same shape at least, for sure. But just the internal structure of the shoe, remember, you have more of the sidewall in this shoe, I think, and so it definitely feels tighter in the forefoot. There's no doubt about that. This has more width on the interior. You've got the different style of laces. You've got the pull tab on the front, which you did not have last year. And I believe the heel to toe drop is similar. All said, this was a really nice shoe. I really like the shoe. The only issue with it is that it is a noisy shoe. So I can't do it without my foot in here. I'll put a clip in where I actually wear it and you can hear the squeaking. But these things squeak, just like the Metcon 4 and the 4XD did. This was a squeaky shoe. And I'm happy to say the new Free Metcon 3 does not have that problem. So this shoe does not make any noise whatsoever when you're wearing it. All right, here's the Free X Metcon 2. This is last year's version of the free shoe. I told you they were noisy. Here we go. So I think you can hear the noise. These make noise when you walk, when you jump. It's just something inside the shoe that makes a noise, and there's no way to stop it for the most part. Which is a shame, because it's a really nice, comfortable shoe, and it works well for what it's supposed to do. Okay, so let's compare it to the Metcon 5. So this is one of the newest amp colorways of the Metcon 5. The Metcon 5, of course, traditional laces, flywire, 3D haptic print on the upper. The Metcon 5 normally has a more breathable mesh upper. This is an amp colorway. It's kind of special. It's got the fadeaway upper. This is actually not very breathable because it's coated with this weird material. The sole on these is very flat and meant for maximum contact area on the gym floor surface and things like that. Diamond-shaped heel, very firm heel. Big difference with the Metcon 5 compared to the Free Metcon 3 is the drop-in midsole is removable in the Metcon 5. You can see it is a dual density material, soft cushion up here, very firm in the heel. And it's certainly two different pieces of material or two different densities. Preformed flex grooves in the drop-in midsole. Overall, pretty good. I would say some people have complained that the front is too mushy and that the back being so firm, you can really feel the difference, like firm to mushy right in the middle of your foot. Some people have complained about that. It's not really been an issue for me. They are training shoes. You know, I don't wear these like all day long. Normally, I wouldn't wear these if I was going on a really long walk. That's not really, or if I was going to be on my feet for a long time, it's not really the point of a training shoe, in my opinion. So that's a Metcon 5. All around, a really good shoe. I like it a lot. But the Metcon, or the Free Metcon 3, is just a very different style of shoe. So it does have the firm heel, it does have the flex grooves, but it's just meant to be more of a running shoe. Again, a barefoot, free running shoe. So you can see kind of the relative size there. Both are narrow. So just like these, this is an 11.5 because an 11 is just too narrow for me. Similarly, this is a men's 11. I almost would say it could be an 11.5 for me. It's not quite that bad where I have to have a half size up, but you might want to think about that if you have wide feet. Let's compare it to the React Metcon. So this is one of the newer Metcon shoe options. It has a forged Flyknit upper, which is a very heavyweight double layer version of Flyknit that, in my opinion, kind of loses all the appeal of Flyknit. It's got no laces, but a quick pull lacing system. Pull tab on the heel. It's got the same Metcon 5 flat maximum contact area outsole. Firm in the heel, of course, flexible in the forefoot, and that fairly large rope wrap area as well. The real differentiator with the React Metcon, though, besides the fact that it's got, you know, a quick pull lacing system, is the drop-in midsole is made, it's a slab of React foam. So React foam, this is lightweight, very cushiony, but it gives great energy rebound. It's supposed to return energy to your foot on every footstep. Now, my personal feeling on the React Metcon, I know some people really like these, but this is just simply too small of a slab of React to feel like a React running shoe. So what I mean by that, if you look at, this is the Infinity Run Flyknit. This is a massive React outsole with rubber. But compare that amount of React to this amount, This is dished. There's even more than you can see here. Just a massive amount of React foam. You don't get, or you won't, it won't feel the same in the React Metcon. It's not going to feel like you're in a React running shoe. I just want you to be aware of that. The React Metcon, it's a tougher shoe. It's a heavier shoe compared to the React running shoes. And this is a subtle improvement over that two-piece dual density midsole from the Metcon 5. So remember, I told you some people don't like the fact that it goes from really firm to mushy, and you can really feel the difference between the two. You can feel like, right at that point. The React Metcon, you'll probably like it better then, because this is one continuous piece of foam. It is the same density. It is thinner up front, but it will have a different feel to it. So overall, the React Metcon, some people like them. I don't. I don't like this. I can't get it tight enough. It doesn't feel as good as just traditional laces. The React Metcon, or the React midsole, to me, does not make enough of a difference to make it worthwhile. All right, let's compare to the Reebok Nano 9. So this is a really good shoe as well. This is a Nano 9. It's one of the earlier colorways. It's got the nice flat laces. It's got a super padded tongue. If you were into thick tongue padding, this is the shoe for you. It's got kind of this nice fit, flex weave. This is tough, fairly breathable, very comfortable shoe, mainly because of the width. So I don't know if you can see that there, but the Reebok Nano 9 is the width king for cross-training shoes still. There's nothing that is comfortable for people with wide feet, in my opinion. The outsole, kind of a flat cross-trainer style, firm in the heel, little more cushion up front. You can lift weights in these, of course, short sprints, box jumps, jumping rope. You can do all that stuff. This thing does not have great forefoot flexibility, though, I will say that. But overall, Reebok Nano 9, pretty good. But, it is a general purpose cross trainer for the most part. The Free Metcon 3, on the other hand, again, a barefoot free running focus, Metcon features. This is also a very comfortable shoe, but not as good for people with wide feet. Okay, so that was our first look and unboxing of the Nike Free Metcon 3, the brand new third version of Nike's fusion of the free running line and the Metcon training shoe line. This is a pretty good shoe so far. It runs true to size, but it runs narrow, unlike last year's shoe, in my opinion. So you may want to go half size up if you have wide feet. It is about the same weight as last year's shoe, even though there's just more to the shoe, including this radically different outsole and heel. We'll be doing a longer-term follow-up as we put some more miles and some more weight on top of these shoes. Please be sure to check back in the future. And if you like this kind of thing, please subscribe. We post these reviews regularly. Thank you. Have a good day.